And I've got the Hansard as well, where a couple of the senators are asking the acting president to keep the gallery down because they were clapping after, I think Rachel Seward spoke, no, Christine Milne spoke, and everyone was clapping, and then one of the coalition senators spoke and people started booing. But 100 people turned up, and I think that, and now you hear Erica Betts, who's, I think the Special Minister for State, basically saying, oh, we're not guillotining democracy and we've extended the Senate debate and so on. And that is directly a result of the work of you guys. There's no doubt about it that there wasn't even going to be a Senate inquiry. We wrote to all of the senators before and said there must be a Senate inquiry. And then the 13,000 letters, the filling of the gallery, and also our blog. I mean, there were 700 posts on the blog since Saturday night. And a lot of those people who are blogging are Indigenous people. And if you get the opportunity to have a look at the blog on the Northern Territory Indigenous and the Emergency Bill, it's great. It's a fantastic read. So that's just an example of why this Senate is just in a disastrous shape. And, work choices is a direct result of the Senate being in the hands of the government. The end of compulsory student unionism, again, the result of the Senate being in the hands of the coalition. So just a few stats. Basically, there are 76 senators, and those 76 senators are 6 states times 12, 12 senators per state, plus the ACT and the Northern Territory, who've got 2 senators each. Probably a lot of you already know this, but just in case. So that makes 76 senators. Senators' term, there are half Senate elections, so actually only 40 senators are up for, so half the Senate, pretty much, are up for election this election. And so that's 40 senators who are up for election, and 20 of them are coalition senators. So the Senate is controlled by the coalition by one vote. It's one person. So that's why this Senate campaign is so crucial, because the only thing that needs to happen is there needs to only be one Liberal senator who loses their Senate position. And interestingly, and great for you guys, and the reason why we've decided to focus in on South Australia is because actually South Australians who are going to hold the key to this election, to this Senate election. And that's why we've brought Tim on to work here down in Adelaide, but for the whole of South Australia, because actually the power of this group of people here, and more broadly, all of your friends and your family and all of the other GetUp members who didn't come here on a cold rainy night, you are the people who can actually change that. And we've also got a campaign in the ACT as well, which is why we had the forum there last week. And the forum, 250 people turned up to the event, and we got some really great media coverage. And everybody walked away with a Save Our Senate placard, and we've got Save Our Senate placards here, and we're hoping that all of you will walk away with one of them. You might have seen the sort of design before. It's kind of modelled on the David Hicks ones, which worked really well. And there's also bumper stickers, and there is also T-shirts and stuff as well. But the point is that the swing that's needed here in South Australia is actually 5%. So it's actually not a very strong, large swing at all. In fact, it's much smaller than what is actually being judged at the moment on the polls. Like, for instance, Mackerras yesterday talked about a 5.7% swing. But South Australians actually understand the Senate, more so, I think, than other states. I think the Democrats have played a really significant role, and, so I guess we're sort of following on from some of the work that they have done here in South Australia. But this idea about there's actually 2 elections that are coming up. There's the election for the Prime Minister, and then there's the election for who keeps an eye on the Prime Minister. And at the moment, nobody is keeping an eye on the Prime Minister. It's like a child marking their own homework. That's exactly what's going on at the moment. 5 out of 5. It's like a filmmaker reviewing their own film and giving a David and Margaret 5-star rating, and that's what's happening. So whatever your political perspective is, like, it doesn't matter. In the Senate, we need to have a balance of power. We need to have an alternative to who's in the executive. Otherwise, we end up with crazy laws like the ones that we're seeing at the moment with the taking away of the permit system, despite the fact that Indigenous people are saying that it's going to make our children less safe. The 99-year leases, for instance. The just absurd lack of consultation with Indigenous people. And so I guess, you know, this evening is kind of our starting point, and we have all the infrastructure to make this happen. It is a totally achievable goal. We're not going to be telling people which way to vote. But what we're saying is vote for an independent and progressive Senate. We're not going to say vote Green, Democrat or whatever. We're not even going to say don't vote the coalition. What we're saying is this is the consequence of a Senate that is controlled by one party, and we're encouraging people to think about the issue and understand the consequences of a Senate that is controlled by the coalition and to vote accordingly. So I'm going to hand back over to Tim, and thanks a lot to everyone for all of the work that you've done, because so far, like, there's no doubt that we're actually transforming Australian politics collectively, and we've got a long way to go. And of course, you know, after the election is really when the hard work starts. In a sense, it's not just about, like, GetUp is not going to go away, disappear after the election. You probably will have noticed that we've shifted from being an issue-based organisation to an electorally based organisation for this period. But after the election, whoever gets into power, GetUp will be there, ensuring that, you know, all political parties, and in particular the government, have got the most progressive stance on all of the issues that we care about collectively. So thanks a lot.